game one as a rookie to game one last night. How much more maybe comfortable did you feel going into this year's playoffs than you did your first time around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just knowing that I can do it and knowing I can play in that game kind of settled me down a little bit. But, I mean, obviously the same nerves are there and the same excitement's there. So it's definitely a little bit different, kind of feeling that you can actually play in those games. But the same level of nerves and excitement are there for sure.
5 guys made their playoff debuts the other night. Did you tell any of those guys anything about what it was like for you a year ago?
I mean, yeah, just like in little conversations, just you kind of don't want to talk it up too much because psych them out a little bit. But I mean, at the same time, you got to tell them that just to play their game and that they're there for a reason and that they're going to help our team any way they can. So yeah, I didn't want to psych them out too much, but definitely encourage them a little bit.
I know you're limited in what you can say, but just maybe some of the conversations the group has had since the weird ending to the last game.
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. We'll take it, and I mean, in playoffs, all you're trying to do is win the game. So any way you can kind of do that is good. But obviously, we didn't like how we did it. But I mean, that's the beauty of playoffs. You can kind of park it behind you and move on to the next game. So obviously, we'll watch video, and Jimmy's telling us little things that we can improve on. But we'll definitely take the win.
Was it ever discussed that it was like 3 empty net shots away from a 6-3 win?
Yeah, I mean, that was. I mean, the way we played the game, I think we thought that we deserved to win that game. Yeah, like you said, like 6-3, 6-2, something like that. So, obviously, it didn't go that way, and they have really good players over there that are able to create a lot of offense. So, like I said, we'll take the win.
How encouraging, though, to play the first 40 minutes or 45 minutes almost as perfectly as you could against that team, and to be able to replicate that in game 2 and moving forward. I mean, I assume that's the goal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very encouraging for us. We know that we're able to play against those guys and dominate them when we play our game and play our style of game. So I think, yeah, that's our focus moving forward, is to try and just put ourselves in the best position where we can play that game and try and have that through a full 60 minutes.
Moments like that are going to happen, throughout the course of a playoff series where things maybe feel like they're on the edge. When you get in those moments, the team gets in those moments, what do you guys try to rely on to just like settle things down and kind of get back to where you need to?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cliche, but you look at the guys around you, you look over at Kopi and you look over at Drew and even Phil and those guys that have been through it a lot. You kind of just look over at them and they're not panicking at all. And yeah, I mean, for me on the bench, like, you can feel like the kind of world's crashing down around you, but being able to look at those guys and see how confident they still are is pretty moving, and it helps us a lot.
So a lot of kind of chess match, not just in the lineups, but like little spot duty, like Kopi come out to take a face-off with the 4th line, things like that. As a righty, are you working on draws and anticipate maybe taking some in this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been working on kind of throughout the year, and I mean, yeah, if my number's called to take a draw, I'll try and take it. But I mean, yeah, like, you have guys like Kopi and Phil who are some of the best face-off guys in the league. So I mean, we feel really confident with them taking those draws. But yeah, I mean, if I'm able to kind of help as a righty, then I'll go out and help.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But as a veteran guy, what do you try to do? What does this team try to do to just get things calm and kind of get back to where you guys want to be?
Yeah, for sure. I think once we got up in the game, we kind of let our foot off the gas a bit, and when you do that, they have a lot of skill over there, and they're going to take over. So just talking to the guys on the bench, saying we're fine here. Let's get back to our game like we were playing in the second period, and just finish this game off strong. We know what we have to do to stop these guys, but if you give them a sniff, they're going to capitalize.
Talk about that second period. It felt like a king style, of hockey period. What did you like about the way that you guys kind of played your game and tried to play the game on your terms in the second?
Yeah, it was just a simple game. Forwards did a good job of taking away their speed, which made it easy on us defensemen. I thought we broke the puck out really well. Everyone was on the same page, and in the O-zone, we weren't really turning pucks over. We were, working them down low and trying to tire them out. So that was a good, solid 20 minutes of hockey.
Brant seemed to get a little extra attention in the physical game last game and seemed to handle it well. How do you think he handled it, and what have you kind of imparted to him as he's getting started in his playoff career here?
Yeah, no, I think he handled it well. I think our message to him is just don't retaliate. He's done that a couple times throughout the season, and it's a young guy. He's got a lot of emotion, but we want to play in between the whistles. Anything after the whistle, don't want to be involved in it. So I thought he did a good job.
But it seems self-evident, but the fact that you only took 2 minors, give the Oilers a very modest chance on the power play. How important is that to, as the series progresses, to not be retaliating and taking the needless or careless penalties?
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret. Their power play is lethal, so we're trying to stay out of the box. And I think last game, we're moving our feet. And when you're moving your feet, you're not going to take those, dumb stick penalties. You're going to go right through the body instead of, using your stick. So we just got to keep doing that because I think 5-on-5, we're the better team.
Kopi was talking about Juice's swagger and how it's kind of infectious. I know you've been on deep playoff runs, Montreal, St. Louis, and first year here. When you look at him, what stands out to you about Kempe as a playoff performer?
Yeah, he's got that silent swagger. He's not the most vocal guy, but once he gets on the ice, he just turns into a different person, and it's fun to watch. He's, a heck of a player. I've been in the East for the longest time now, so didn't really get to see too much of him, but being on his team now, he's definitely an underrated player in this league, and we've relied on him a lot this year, and going down the stretch here, we'll need him a lot more.
As one of the older guys in this group who's gone the distance before, do you feel your role kind of elevate come playoff time as a leader, or is it kind of status quo with the way that it is in the regular season?
I think it's status quo. I just try to be that calm presence. Don't get too high, don't get too low. We score a goal, that's great, but let's get back out there and have a good shift right afterwards. So, I want the young guys to lean on me. We got me, Dewey, we got Kopi, some older guys. So that's what we're here for, and we just want to calm everyone down. We're still playing the same game. It's hockey, so we all know how to do that, and we're all good players. So, yeah.
Going back to Monday night, Spence only played 6 minutes and change. Was that coach's decision, or did he get banged up in the game?
Yeah, no, just coach's decision. Yeah, everybody, some guys play more, some guys play less on given nights.
To that point, the fourth line played very modestly, between 3 and 4 minutes. Do you have any lineup changes for that group? And ideally, what would you like to, what's the perfect world for you in how much you use that group?
I don't know. We won't discuss the lineup, and optimal is we win the game. So what does it look like for everybody in games? It's different every game. So decisions are made to try to win the game the best we can. Sometimes it's 14, and sometimes it's less.
A player like Joel Edmundson, his game doesn't seem very different between a regular season game and a playoff game. Is that the sign of a guy who has been through this before and is just comfortable playing at this time of the year where it just looks natural to him?
Yeah, a pretty consistent game for him. And he plays one way, he plays hard, relatively, I would call it safe. Plays the position of defense, which is why we acquired him. And I've talked before, we were talking about the young players, we talked about consistency, predictability. There's a guy who is a veteran player who brings that. And you want that out of your veteran players, true, but it's the young guys take some longer to grasp that. But, Eddie, you know what you're getting, night after night.
About those young players, you had 5 players make their debuts. Is it easier now to coach and have conversations with them because you don't have to say, oh, you don't know what's like in the playoffs? Now they got to feel it for the first time.
Yeah, I never did have that conversation with. I left them alone because, I didn't want to make it bigger than it was. They've done a really good job for us. So, it's going to be another game. It's going to be amped up. It's going to be faster. Maybe their teammates told them that. But I think it's, they didn't play that much, but they did get the experience. So now they know what it's like. And sometimes it's, we all know the speed of the game is faster, the intensity. Sometimes you make more of it in your own mind, and you tighten yourself up, and so it's more mental than physical anyways. So I would think that, all players would be maybe just a little bit more relaxed going into game 2.
Given the way the game unfolded and how it ended, in your preparation for game 2, is your focus more on what happened at the end or more on the first 45 minutes when it was
Yeah, we're not making too big of a deal about what happened in the end because we felt like, within inches, it could have been a much different ending as far as the game could have been put away much earlier than that. So, then, like I said, they made a couple good plays. We made a couple poor plays. It's tight. We'll deal with it. That's hockey. But yeah, there's some things that we thought we did really well, and a couple things we think we can do better tonight.
David's 3 assists, they're all pretty similar plays. I mean, were you satisfied with the way you guys defended those as a group? Was it just a matter of him making a strong individual play in a battle, or were there things that you would like to see better in layers or defending as a 5-man unit, I guess?
Yeah, we needed some more support in behind, I would say. So it's the next guy that needs to make the play, not necessarily the first guy. He's going to have a hard enough time containing. So we just need the next guy and maybe even a third guy involved to just try to help us clean up the second one.
Jim, in an empty net situation, would you ever tell your team, don't shoot at the empty net because of what happened the other night, or just get to the center ice line and dump it in as opposed to trying when you get icings against it?
That's changed over the years. Foxy tried that years ago. He wouldn't have got back out on the ice. But I think you got to let your guys play. If you don't have a chance at shooting it at the net, just lay it out. Okay. If you've got a good look at it with some time, you got to try and put it in the back of the net. So that's a situational thing, and it's not one or the other. And I think the players understand that, and they got to play within those moments.
Why do you think that's changed? Because I think you're right. Like, you see teams now just winging it, right? Whereas I think in the past, you're right, that would not have been the play. Why do you think it's changed?
Well, I think probably there's been more analysis of the situation nowadays, and people have seen that, hey, an icing costs you this. And we got a large sample. Here's 100 icings, cost you this. And here's trying for the goal, you get this. Okay, I mean, I won't get into all the details, but because of the analysis now, I think it's probably, with time and space, it's probably a higher probability win percentage to go for that shot.
How much does the clock, or the time left on the clock, have to do with that? Because, right at the end of the game, that face-off, Juice, I think it was, just kind of chips it down the ice, kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah. Well, again, to me, it's time and space. But if there's only 15 seconds left on the clock, then probably you're safe just getting the puck down the other end, and you don't want to give the team a face-off with 6 seconds left. So we can talk about all this and throw all the logic into it, and then we can put 20,000 people in the building, and we can put a black puck slipping on the ice and people battling for the puck, and hope that the guys make the right decision in that moment.